Hello everyone. As mentioned, I would record a screencast to explain the assignment, the workshop, the gallery walk, and also the webbing assignment. Okay? So I hope you can take the time to also go through the assignment. I'm going to upload this updated template for you to follow along. Okay? So don't follow the one inside your assignment package. This has been modified. I've changed a little bit of it and I tweaked it. Okay, so follow this one. So there's three parts to this assignment: the individual component, the group component, and also the field placement component. Okay, so you are making observations at daycare in your field placement, and you will identify the interests, cues, and needs of the individual children. Okay, so remember, the observations that you're making will allow you to identify the cues and interests of the children and come up with a variety of potential learning opportunities that respond in these areas: creative arts, language arts, dramatic arts, and music. You will also, let me go down to the webbing. So here, as I mentioned, your observation, and then based on your observation, for music, what are the possible learning opportunities based on the child's cue and interest? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? And this will be for all the areas of the curriculum. You will also need a resource for one of the possible learning opportunities. Okay? So you pick one of these activities and then you find a resource for that learning opportunity. And this would be for every area: language arts, dramatic arts, creative arts, and that's it. Okay? So here it says identify and describe one appropriate resource that can be used to support one of the learning opportunities identified in each web. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 webs, 4 resources, okay? You are also encouraged to implement this planning in your child care center. The implementation will support the completion of curriculum competency identified in the manual for planned learning opportunities. Okay? So that's the first part of the individual component. And this is due on July 28th, which is the same day of the final test. So hold on. Ginger, get off the counter. That's my cat. Don't mind the cat. Okay, so half the class will be designated to the final test. The other half of the class will be working on the webbing assignment. Okay, so make sure it is completed when you come to class on the 28th of July. So the group component. Students must bring and share their completed webbing sheets with group members in order to participate in the in-class workshops. So if you did not complete the webbing and did not come to class on July 28th with a completed webbing to participate, you cannot do the final gallery walk. Okay, so you have to make sure that you have the webbing complete, because we're working as a group once you bring in that webbing. Okay. Working in small groups of 4, students will share their webbing information. So each group will identify a learning opportunity from each team member that reflects best practice in each of the 4 curriculum areas. So here would be the criteria for best practice. So you have to ensure that the activity or learning opportunity reflects best practices. And here is the criteria. Okay? Let me go back up. So again, in a group of 4, you are going to each identify a learning opportunity from each person. So there'll be 4 learning opportunities that has been identified that reflects best practice. Okay? Students will prepare a new web for each curriculum area, including the 4 chosen best practice. 1 from each group member. Okay, so after you have sat in a group analyzed all the learning, all the webs from each individual person, and you've selected a learning opportunity from each team member, you're going to take the ones that you've selected and you're going to create and prepare a new web for each curriculum area. Okay? That all with the 4 chosen best practice learning opportunities to submit to the instructor, myself. Okay? So that's the group component. A reflective analysis describing how the learning opportunities reflect best practice and linked to the quality assurance criteria and the elect will be completed and submitted along with your web. So here are the guiding questions. If you scroll down, a little bit further, and here. So here's part of your group portion, reflective analysis, guided questions that you will be answering as a group. Okay, so you'll write down here everybody's name, everybody in the group, and then you will answer these guided questions. Okay, response to the children's needs and interests, learning opportunity characteristics, how did you meet best practice, QA, quality assurance criteria, and the elect, and you're tying it there. Okay, we will discuss this in class next week, but I just wanted for you to have a look at this, and since you are in placement tomorrow, you can take the opportunity to also make new observations if you need in order for you to complete your webbing. Okay, and the last part, individual field placement component. So students will implement one learning opportunity in their field placement that best reflects the cues and interests of the children and best practice criteria. My cat's in her litter right now, so that's what you're hearing in the background. So I'm going to repeat that. So you're going to implement one learning opportunity at placement that best reflects the cues and interests of the children and best practice criteria. And again, the best practice criteria was below. Okay, so you can scroll back down. Students will document this learning opportunity incorporating all elements discussed in class. Okay, this documentation also must be posted at your placement shortly after you have implemented the learning opportunity. Okay, you will also present this documentation board in class using a gallery walk. So again, you're implementing the activity and you're going to place all of this information as well on a board. Okay, with the learning opportunity, all the elements discussed. So that will be celebrating your learning in week 14. Okay, so again, if this is a lot of information, we will discuss this in class on Monday when we are discussing documentation. But for now, look through the assignment template and then you can start on your observation, at least then come to class with some information, some questions that you have. Anything that's unclear, you can come to class with that, okay? So I'm hoping I didn't confuse you anymore or overwhelm you anymore. I'm hoping I cleared a little bit of information up for you. And I will see you on Monday.